Hello and welcome back to Ready Steady DIY. If it's your first time here, thank you for joining us. Well, if you've been looking in your toolbox and you're staring at that screwdriver your mom gave you when you moved out and you're thinking it might not be cutting the mustard, today we're going to take a look at a possible replacement for you. Today we're going to take a look at the Picquic Sixpac Plus, which is a multi-bit screwdriver made in Canada. I really feel like a lot more people outside of Canada should know about this particular tool, and that's one reason why I'm reviewing it. So let's get going. Picquic makes a number of multi-bit screwdrivers. The Sixpac Plus is the one that everybody seems to own. It comes standard with 7 bits. Each bit is 3 inches long. The handle and shank is a little over 5.5 inches long, and its weight is 0.48 pounds. And there's 2 versions, one for the American market and one for the Canadian market. The Canadian bit assortment includes 3 Robertson bits, 2 Phillips bits, and then it includes 1 3/16 and 1 1/4-inch flathead bit. The American version includes more Phillips but fewer Robertson. So there's 3 Phillips head bits, a number 2 Robertson, a 3/16 and a 1/4-inch flathead, and a Torx bit. The company claims that the Sixpac Plus is the original instant bit change multiple bit screwdriver. They introduced it in 1988, and according to them, they have sold millions of units. It's really popular in Canada, less so elsewhere. I feel like a lot of that just has to do with availability. A lot of folks outside of Canada just don't know about this screwdriver. But my honest opinion about the screwdriver is that while there are multi-bit screwdrivers that have more bits, they're a little fancier. The Mega Pro comes to mind. Don't get me wrong, great multi-bit screwdriver. But for the average homeowner or DIY person, you really can't beat a Picquic. They're simple, they're reliable, they're durable, and they're really cost effective. So there are 6 bits in the handle and 1 bit in the shank. In order to pull out a bit that's in the handle, you take the one that's in the shank, insert it in the back of the handle, and push forward. That installs the bit you don't need back into the handle and pops out the one that you would like to use. That way you're not going to put the bit down, you're not going to stick the bit in your pocket, and therefore you're less likely to lose it. Any multi-bit screwdriver where it's pretty hard to lose the bits, that's going to be a reliable screwdriver for you. There are other multi-bit screwdrivers on the market that are a little more complicated, and because of that, it just seems like somehow they're more likely to fail. I like this over almost every other multi-bit screwdriver on the market. The way the screwdriver feels in my hand is just really solid. It feels like the kind of thing you can rely on to turn a fastener and not strip it. If you do get into a situation where it's pretty hard to turn whatever fastener you're trying to turn, the aircraft alloy shank has this hex component to it that'll take a 7/16 wrench that'll help you turn in situations where you just need a little bit more torque. And while I'm talking about the shank, it has a rare earth magnet inside of it. Because there's a magnet in the shank, when you insert the bit, it snaps in with a really satisfying feeling. It really inspires confidence. The simplicity of the screwdriver also is what makes it more durable. The handle is a really solid plastic, and the holes that hold the bits have really tight tolerances. The holes don't get worn down. The bits don't end up rattling around in the handle. You can shake it, you can drop it, you could drop it from a ladder, and the bits are not gonna pop out. Speaking of the bits, they're all really good. They're all 3 inches long, which is really nice. A lot of multi-bit screwdrivers have very small bits. 3-inch long bits get into all kinds of spots. It's pretty handy. There's a 1/4-inch hex mount on the back of each bit, which allows it to be put into any impact driver or drill driver combination you got. That is super handy. If you come up against a situation where you want to use a power tool to drive the fastener, you can just take the bits out of your screwdriver, stick them in your power tool, and go. The bits are really nice. They're very durable. I don't find that the tips grind off very easily. They don't warp. They do corrode a little bit. Some of the bits in this video, you'll see there's a little bit of corrosion on them, but it's not too bad. And if it does get to a point where it seems like it's too much, a little steel wool or 2000 grit sandpaper takes it right off. Where the screwdriver fails is in that it only has 7 bits. So a 10-in-1 or a 15-in-1 screwdriver obviously is going to give you more bits. That's more options in case, you run into a situation where you need a bit that the Picquic doesn't have. There's one other issue for people with tool belts or tool pouches. The way you have to store the 7th bit, if you don't want to keep it in the shank, is to tuck it back into the handle, into a slot where there's already a bit. That can sometimes fight you when you're trying to fit your screwdriver into your tool belt or tool pouch. As well as simple and reliable, this particular screwdriver is really cost effective. When I last looked on Amazon, it was basically $12 US. That's considerably less than a lot of the competing screwdrivers. I just really think if you're gonna be a homeowner or a DIY person and you wanna own one screwdriver and you don't wanna replace it, this is the one to get. If neither the American or the Canadian version has all the bits you want, they do sell bits separately. That's also pretty cost effective. So you can load it up with pretty much whatever bit you're gonna need in an emergency. So there you have it, the Picquic Sixpac Plus. One of my favorite screwdrivers, actually one of my favorite tools going. If you've got any questions about it, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And if there's any way you could like or subscribe, I'd really appreciate that too. Until next week, take care, have fun with your DIY projects, and I'll see you next Saturday.